everybody, it's me, Blanche. Now there's nothing I love more than brunch on the weekends with my family. Now there's one particular dish I love making for brunch, and that is a breakfast pie where you use hash browns as a beautiful crust. But this one's special. It's a shakshuka breakfast pie because I noticed from my previous shakshuka video that a lot of you guys seem to like it. So I'm gonna blend all of those flavors together in something new and exciting for breakfast or brunch right here on Feast in the Middle East. All right, so for this shakshuka breakfast pie, the crust is going to be made out of frozen hash browns. I love using frozen vegetables. It's a great shortcut, and these have nothing but potatoes in them, right? Some of them do have seasoning, so you want to be aware of that, but these are just pretty much potatoes. So what I did was I thawed out the hash browns, and what I'm going to do is squeeze out, make sure that any extra moisture is squeezed out. And I'm going to make this basically the crust. Okay, so we've got the hash browns right here. And to that, I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now this is going to bind the crust together, okay? Now to that, I'm going to add za'atar. Now you know we Middle Eastern folks, we love to eat za'atar for breakfast. So why not add some za'atar? This is about a tablespoon, and get it from a good Middle Eastern market. I'll provide some links below as recommendations. Don't get it from Trader Joe's because it tastes like crap. Okay, now time for the garlic powder. I'm just adding a teaspoon. And then we're gonna add like a dash of salt to taste. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt. And we got some lemon pepper or regular pepper, your choice. You know me, I'm obsessed with lemon pepper. I got lemon pepper in the mix. And all we have to do now for the crust is combine this together, and this is going to be the crust for our pie. Now, I love these potatoes for a variety of reasons. Not only do they make a great crust, but if you want to feed a lot of people for a budget, it helps to stretch out the protein. The protein here is eggs. You know, we are going to use a lot of eggs, but you know, you want them to get full at the end of the day, and they're definitely going to get full with this. So this is about, by the way, just to let you know, this is about 3 cups of hash brown potatoes. And so what I'm going to do is line this dish, this pie dish, with the hash brown potatoes, and I'm going to kind of press it. And just press it along the bottom and around the edges. And you have to bake this first, because then you'll make sure that the crust is nice and solid and crisped up and not soggy. I could already smell the za'atar and the garlic. This is going to be a really amazing crust. Okay, so now I have the oven heated at 400 degrees, and I'm going to bake the crust for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to prepare the rest of the pie. Now for the filling of the shakshuka pie. Of course, you can't have shakshuka without tomatoes. I particularly like Roma tomatoes, but you can use any tomato you want. What I'm going to do just is basically slice them into small chunks, because we're going to saute them with heaps of garlic, because we love garlic in this family. So just going to do this with the rest of the tomatoes. As far as how many tomatoes you use, you could probably use up to 6 or even 8 tomatoes. And whatever you don't need for the pie, they taste great on the side. My mom, as a matter of fact, one of her favorite breakfasts growing up was just to eat sauteed tomatoes with eggs. And that's such a healthy breakfast, and she used to eat that with like some bread, and she was good to go. All right, so I'm just adding about 2 tablespoons of olive oil here. I'm gonna add a ton of minced garlic. This is probably about 7 to 8 cloves of minced garlic. Now, if you don't like that much garlic, you could ease it up, but I love it. So I'm just gonna saute it just a little bit, get it all fragrant in the olive oil. This is my favorite smell combination. It smells like garlic bread. And to that, I'm going to add all the beautiful tomatoes. Love that sizzle. Saute it. I'm gonna reduce the heat a bit lower. And I'm going to saute it until it turns an almost like jam-like consistency. So this is great. While the crust is cooking in the oven, I get to work on the filling, and this is so key for the filling. You know, some people like to put ketchup on their eggs. Well, this is like so much better than ketchup, honestly, because it's fresh tomatoes. So basically, I'd say about 15 minutes. You want to keep sauteing the tomatoes until the aroma starts coming out. They're like soft. The garlic is well incorporated. and you're just like breathing this beautiful tomato garlic smell, then you know it's ready. So I'll show you in a bit. Okay, to season the tomatoes, it's so simple. We're just gonna use salt, probably like a half a teaspoon of salt, and some fresh pepper. And that's about it. That's so simple because you really want the flavor of the tomatoes to shine through. Okay, so you see how it's a little bit brown? That's what I want. The shakshuka filling. This is going to be a nice layer. All right. And you can do these in individual ramekins too. Like if you don't want to make it into a big pie, you can just put them in individual ramekins as well. So that way you can like eat all week, kind of heat and eat all week for if you're living solo or if it's just 2 of you or something like that. We're gonna make 7 eggs in this. This one's a big one. Take some feta cheese and sprinkle it on top. Now I don't like to sprinkle it on the yolk because I like the yolks to show, but I like to sprinkle it all around in between. And of course I like to sprinkle some more once it's out of the oven, but just like this. And you could sprinkle it on top of the eggs, of course, but I really like those yellows to shine through my little sunshines. Okay. There we go. I love za'atar. Za'atar and eggs for breakfast, za'atar and cheese. Amazing combo. This is eggs and cheese, so for me, it doesn't get better than this. All right. I'm going to bake this at the same temperature for another 15 minutes, but I am going to keep an eye on it. It might cook sooner depending. I just want the whites to be fully cooked and the yellows to stay yellow. I don't want them hard boiled, you know, in there. So that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Oops. Sometimes you might have to cook it even a bit longer, like 2 minutes. You see how it's all browned around the edges? There we go. Look at that. Wouldn't you like to have this for breakfast? Now this is exactly how I want it to look. You've got the brilliant yellows of the yolks, but the white is all set. So let's, here, I'm just gonna cut a slice here onto a plate. I like it so that each person gets at least 1 egg. And look at that delicious hash brown crust. Let me try to make this as neat as I can here. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Here we go. All right, are you guys ready for the first bite? I am. One, 2, 3. Lizard tongue, here we come. When people eat pie, they think of sweet pie, but this savory breakfast pie is so good that you won't even think of any sweet pie. You'll want to eat the whole thing, but I'm telling you, it's very, very filling. This can feed a family of 4 very easily, and they will be stuffed for hours. I hope you like this breakfast edition of Feast in the Middle East. For more healthy Middle Eastern and Mediterranean recipes, guys, check out my cookbook, limited edition hardback, over 200 pages, full color. Right now you can get it at feastinthemiddleeast.com. I have recipes for other tasty pies, like a baba ganoush pie. I have the shakshuka recipe in here. I make it easy and accessible so anyone can create this cuisine in a matter of minutes. So, until next time, thank you for joining me here. I hope to see you again soon. Subscribe and like, and I'm going to finish up as much of this pie as I possibly can. This is so incredible. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh. You don't even need bread. You don't need bread with this, it's so good. Mmm.